Hello, and welcome to this course Implement Security in Microservices Architecture on AWS.
So let's move forward and see what this course is going to teach you. The course includes over 6 hours of video content, but is made up of 5 sections. I strongly advise that you follow them in the chronological order as shown here. The course includes a lot of demonstrations and labs, but you can also perform as you follow the course. These labs will be built progressively as we go through the different sections, and therefore it might be difficult for you to keep up with the lab parts of a specific section if you skip the lab part from the previous ones. In section number 1, you will review a few key principles related to microservices applications and security, including zero trust approaches. In section number 2, you will learn about the IAM concept needed when building microservices in the AWS cloud, including roles, policies, as well as attribute-based access control, also known as ABAC. In section number 3, you will learn how to use the AWS API Gateway in order to implement and protect your APIs. You will also use AWS Cogneto to perform authentication and authorization based on end-user identities. In section number 4, you will learn about encryption for both data in motion and data at rest in the AWS cloud. You will learn about using AWS KMS to encrypt, decrypt, and control access to encryption keys based on end-user identities. Finally, in section number 5, you will learn everything you need to know about compartmentalization for your microservices components. You will also learn about using multiple AWS accounts and how to manage that environment. By the end of this course, you will become proficient in implementing security in microservices architectures on AWS. But before we dive in, here are a few prerequisites that you should briefly review before you enroll in this course. First, this course was designed for participants who already have some basic knowledge of the AWS platform. It is not needed to have any AWS certification for this course, but ideally you should be somewhere near the level of knowledge required for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. You should be somewhat familiar with AWS EC2, S3, Lambda, and API Gateway services before you take this course. If that's not the case yet, I would advise that you first follow an AWS Essentials training before taking this course. You should be familiar with the JSON syntax, as it is used in many areas of the configuration in AWS, including IAM policies, for example. If that's not the case yet, I would suggest that you first follow a quick online tutorial on JSON. There are many resources available on this topic out there on the internet. You should have at least one AWS account that you can use without any restrictions. That means you should have full admin privileges on this account. Also, a second AWS account might be needed if you want to perform the lab of the very last video of the last section number 5, where I will show you how to manage access across 2 different AWS accounts. But no worries, you can create as many accounts as you want with AWS. All your AWS accounts are eligible for the free tier benefits from AWS, and therefore the lab should not incur any costs or, at worst, very limited expenses. But bear in mind that when starting EC2 instances in a lab, you have to make sure that all the instances created for that lab will be terminated at the end of the lab, so you are not being charged beyond the free tier limits. You need a computer with at least 4 GB of memory and a recent operating system installed on it. I use Windows 10 for this course's recording, but the lab can also be performed on macOS or Linux. You should have a recent browser installed, preferably Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. I use Firefox for this course's recording. You should also have Postman API platform installed on your computer in order to test the APIs that you will be implementing. The free edition is more than enough for this. I use Postman version 9.13.0 in its free edition for this course. Alright, so now we're all set to begin this course, so let's jump right in.